Obviously, on the left-hand side is going to be cost, because these are activities that you are doing to deliver the product. On the right-hand side is going to be revenue. Right? So it's fairly logical. Value proposition in the middle, all the customer-related stuff or selling-related stuff on the right-hand side, on the manufacturing, production, development, customer support stuff on the left-hand side, and at the bottom on the left-hand side you have your cost, you have your revenue on the right-hand side. Now, how do you get the profit? Anybody? How do you get the profit? Revenue is profit?
Revenue minus cost.
Revenue minus cost makes it profit. Right? So, take number 5 and subtract number 9 and you will profit. Okay, so in each of these areas, we can go down deep, much deeper, because in every area, in terms of customer segments, there's many different kinds of customer segments, and every product has a slightly different approach to customer segmentation. So you can have a mass market, or you can have a niche market. You can be segmented by, by race, by revenue, by income, by education, whatever it is. You can be segmented. You can be diversified. It can be this and this and this. Or it can be multi-sided, where you're supporting, Amazon. You've got two, their customers are two. The person who actually buys the product, but their customer is also the merchant who supplies the product. So they've got a multi-sided market. They've got to service both. So many different kinds of customer segments, and you decide for your idea, your value proposition, what is that customers, how you're going to segment the customers, your choice. Now, value proposition, what we're doing with the value proposition is solving customer needs better than anybody else, right? We're trying to do a job better than anybody else, and you want to make it very attractive for the customer to do business with you, or do a transaction with you, or become a recurring permanent customer with you. And there are many kinds of values that you can provide. You can provide quantitative, which is, hey, best price, best deliverables, best whatever. Or you can provide, hey, this is like the iPhone, easiest to use. It is something that is it's a qualitative thing. So you can provide any kind of value, but you decide for your idea to be successful in the marketplace, which means customers buy a lot of that product. What is your value proposition? Because that's going to determine how you're going to make it, how you're going to sell it, how you're going to build your company. And there are all kinds of elements that I've listed here that you can put into value proposition. You decide what is right for you. And there are more also you can add to this. Sometimes it's design. For Steve Jobs, it was design is very important. For a low-cost manufacturer from Taiwan, it's price. From China, it might be price. But delivery, I can deliver in whatever volume quantity you want. Or for a stockbroker, it might be, hey, it's a low risk. When you work with me, I give you a low risk return on your capital. So all kinds of elements can go into the value proposition. And you decide for your idea what the value proposition should be. Then we go into channels. So this is how that value proposition that you decided, the nicest smartphone there is, with, and how are you going to get it out there? Are you going to communicate on the web? Are you going to communicate through direct mail, like Michael did? Are you going to communicate through salespeople or stores? All of those decisions are things that you make while coming up with your customer channel. And in all these cases, you've got to still figure out the 5 steps involved with every channel. How do you get awareness there? How does the customer evaluate how well your product is working or not working? How do they purchase? how do you deliver the goods, and after sales, how do you take care of it. Every channel has to address all five. Now, the relationship that you have with the customer, will determine a lot of the success. So, but there are many kinds of relationships, and there's a cost associated with every way of doing customer relationship. So, personal assistance, it's an expensive way of doing it. A dedicated personal assistant. So, when you go have a stock broker, Merrill Lynch, or one of these guys that have a dedicated stock broker for you if you have got if you have $1 million in your bank. So it will be even more expensive. Self-service is much cheaper. So when you go to a automated teller machine, ATM, in order to withdraw money, you're not meeting a person, and that person has been replaced by a machine, right? So self-service, but obviously reduces the cost. There's one upfront cost, put the equipment in. After that, it's very inexpensive for transaction. Automated services, communities, so many different ways of building the customer relationship. And again, your decision, your choice of how to get there. And as you make these choices, associated activities, resources, and costs are there. So if you decide to provide a cheap product with personal assistance, it's a quick way to go broke. Right? The product will not get you the investment that you're making in customer relationship. So revenue streams, again, two kinds, transaction or recurring revenue. Transaction is where the job is done, and as you'll see in games 24/7, they're more interested in the recurring revenue. Same player, but they want to make money from him over and over and over again. As you know, and you actually want him to grow and refer you to more customers. So recurring revenue is the name of the game for him. Now, many ways of generating recurring revenue streams. You can sell assets. So in real estate, they sell the flat. So they put up a building, they got 24 flats, they sell a flat, asset straight, that flat is gone. Usage fee, if they decide to buy the whole building and then just rent out the flats on a regular basis, they're doing usage fee. Subscription fees, if you go to a library and pay monthly rent, you can get as many books as you want. That's subscription fees. So many different kinds of ways of generating revenue. Now, depending on the kind of company you're building, you have a different revenue model. And I want you to keep in mind all of these points as Bhavin tells the story. Pricing mechanisms, many different things. There's a whole MBA program associated with it. And all of these, there are two basic kinds of pricing, fixed pricing or dynamic pricing. Fixed pricing, it's static. You know what your cost is, you know what product margin you want, boom, that's going to be your price. And you might create a volume-dependent price because you may want a certain amount of dollars per transaction or profit or rupees per transaction. So that's your fixed pricing. In dynamic pricing, it's negotiation. So you go and negotiate the price of the house. You don't just give them what the list price is. You say that, and then you have yield management, so people like Intel and others, if they're getting high yield on a wafer, they might sell it cheap. If they're getting low yield, they sell it for high price. Real-time market auctions, a whole new way of online auctions has come along, and that was really the revolution that resulted in eBay, right? So auctions is just pricing allows them eBay to create a very large successful company. Key resources, these are the most important tasks needed to make your business model work, and there can be all kinds of resources needed. If you're building a software company, the most important resources. If you're building a software company, what's the most important resource? Software engineer, exactly. Because you want them to be not make mistakes, you want them to be innovative, you want them to be software, so it can be physical, financial. Physical is for manufacturing plants. Reliance obviously needs large physical setups, right? So to make their goods. So financial or intellectual equivalents. So many different kinds of resources. And what are the activities that you're going to do? So obviously, if you're a manufacturing company, you've got to do production, and you want to do it efficiently, cost, etc. If you're being a service company, hospital is a service company. It just tells you, brings in doctors, brings in nurses, and serves the patient in order to generate the value proposition of getting their health back. So you have solving the problem of fixing your health. Or for networks, matchmaking, platform, software, etc., it is third category, platform and network. And then finally, key partnerships. So you cannot really succeed in this world and do everything by yourself. You need to have partners who will work with you in order to deliver the goods. Banks are a very important partner for 24/7. So basically, you need offer the partnership, and the main reason is you don't want to be a bank. You don't want, if you're doing a business, you want the bank to do its job of raising the funds, collecting the funds, and then giving it to you for a reasonable cost. For reduction of risk and uncertainty, you don't hire all the engineers because you only need them for 2 years. And after that, what are you going to do with it? So you outsource it to an Indian, software developer, etc. And then finally, your cost structure can be two models: cost-driven or value-driven. So in some cases, you want to keep adding features, but that's the most important thing that you do for your customer. In other cases, you want to bring the cost down, because you just need to have large quantities. So you can have, and again, the cost can be, you can put more fixed costs, more automation, or you can go ahead and have less automation but more manual labor, so it's more variable costs. You have economies of scale, etc. So cost structure itself can change. So basically, if we go back to the original chart, you can see that all of this thing works together in order to help you build your business. Okay, so with that, I want to invite Bhavin Pandya. I'll let Bhavin introduce himself because the introduction itself is controlled by.
Can you guys hear me? Yes. Alright, great. Yeah. So just this one, right? Alright, great. Thank you very much, guys, for being here. It is an honor, really, to be here. I would like to thank Professor Jaswa for giving me this opportunity. Before the class started, I was interacting with a couple of you informally and asked you guys, why are you guys here? What is your reason for taking this class, right? And I got a few answers, but I'll reiterate the top three. The first answer I got was easy class hai, no mid-sems, no finals. We like hearing stories, so we just take this class, right? That was one story. The other piece I got was, I'm interested in being an entrepreneur. At least I want to know what it's about, right? And so I'm here. And the third reason was that, I just had nothing better to do, so I'm sitting here, But let me tell you that through this presentation for the next 45 minutes or so, I hope there is something in it for all of you, right? Entertainment for those that want a good story, and some takeaways for those that want some takeaways, right? So my name is Bhavin Pandya. I will through the story talk more about myself. But let me start talking about what I do and what I did and why I'm here, right? So I founded Games 24/7 in 2006. Now the question that I get all the time, 100 times out of 100 is, Games 24/7, okay, so you make online games. So the answer to that question is no, right? We're not Zynga, we're not Zapak, we're not Games to Win. We don't make flash games that are out there, we don't make casual games, that's not what we do. Let me give some perspective to what we do, right? Think of a bank, right? A bank which actually opens customers' accounts, right? Deposits their money, helps them to withdraw their money, right? Add to that the bank's credit card department that makes sure that the right credit limits are given, that credit limits are given based on income statements, right? Add to that a bank like ICICI Bank's online trading platform where there are millions of transactions happening simultaneously, people's accounts being debited, credited because of the shares they've just bought, sold, etc. Add to that a full loyalty program where you're rewarding your customers for coming and transacting on your site, playing with you, right? And add to that an entire data machinery that is working at the back end, right? Making sure that from the moment you come on our website, we are tracking you through your last day on the website. In the process, learning so much about you that we know what you're going to do before you know what you're going to do. That's what Games 24/7 does, right? We build state-of-the-art platforms where we offer real money gaming, right? Now let me talk a little bit about real money gaming. Right? So we are the first company in India, right, to legitimately bring